Let's join our match commentators, Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thanks, Richard. Hello again, everyone. It's the last moment, really, just to take on board this miracle. And whatever happens in the season, what will be, will be. But for Wigan Athletic to be playing in the Premiership, I must say, I never thought I would see it, and there must be thousands here who feel the same.
Oh, I think there's not only thousands here feel the same. I think there are millions of football supporters up and down the country who thought this was well nigh impossible. So that's a measure of what they have achieved here at this club. Chairman set the standards a few years ago, and Paul Jewell has grasped that dental, and he set the standards on the pitch, the chairman off it, and I think they've all come together, and they've got a just reward, Martin, for what they've actually put into football. They've got a reward, and the harder you work, the more you get out of it. And this guy's worked unbelievably hard to put football, major football, back in Wigan, well, into Wigan for the first time, and it's here. And I tell you what, now it's here. Make no mistake about it, they're not just along for the ride. They want to be here. A year from now, you and I here again talking about the next game Wigan play in the Premiership. They're not just here to make up the numbers and disappear quietly, I tell you.
Well, he has spent some money in the summer. He'd like to have spent some more, actually. But let's have a look at the team. And as Richard pointed out, amazingly, only 2 of this 11 started Wigan's promotion-clinching match against Reading on the last day of last season. That's Jimmy Bullard in midfield and the striker Jason Roberts. 5 are making their first official appearance for the club. Mike Pollitt in goal, Pascal Chimbomba and Stefan Anchot at the back, Damien Francis in midfield and Henri Camara in attack. And it's a debut, second time around for Ayhan Diseu after 3 excellent seasons at Portsmouth. It's a measure of Chelsea's performance last Sunday that Jose Mourinho has said, same again. So a first taste of the Premiership for left-back Asier Del Horno from Athletic Bilbao. William Gallas keeps his place in his preferred centre-back position. When he partnered John Terry last season in the league, Chelsea kept a clean sheet every time.
Well, if there's a gulf in class and quality and ability in the teams, there certainly, I don't think, will be a gulf in commitment, desire, drive, wanting to do well. And that side have got a lot on. They're going to defend for, I feel, certainly long spells. So the back four's got a huge emphasis. The 2 centre-backs, who are not the quickest, have got a big onus to defend well. And if they do that, then they have got pace. Look for Damien Francis from the middle of midfield, making runs forward in there and going there. And you've mentioned Camara as well. Good pace. The power and pace of Jason Roberts. Just maybe, if it all goes right, we might be talking about one of those 3 as a hero before the day's gone.
Nathan Ellington, of course,
a big blow.
They wanted to keep here, and looks as though he's going to West Brom.
That's a big blow, and he probably is off to West Brom at the beginning of next week. Well, for Chelsea, we've talked about it, same again. From the Community Shield, I certainly didn't expect to see any changes. He wants this team to play. It's strong, it's powerful. There's nothing you could say about that we didn't play last season. If they're allowed to settle and play, then Wigan might be in for a torrid time. Wigan have got to get about the pitch and get in amongst this team. If they do, then you just don't know in this game.
So it's Jose versus Jewell at the JJB. Both managers have had one previous season in the Premiership. Mourinho, of course, winning the Championship. Paul Jewell in keeping Bradford City up, which felt like winning the Championship.
Well, we haven't talked about him, but there's a man who might be pretty nervous on your right-hand side there. Didn't expect to be playing, I don't suppose, when he signed. Didn't know where he was going to be at the end of last season. Here he is, facing the champions. What a day for him.
14 years ago, Mike Pollitt was released by Manchester United. And now, finally, at the age of 33, he plays in the top division of English football for the very first time. And it's against the champions. Ayhan Diseu has seen Chelsea and plenty of them in his Portsmouth time. And he's back at Wigan in a deal that's only gone through in the last few days. It's a comfortable move for him. 14th season of the Premier League. And Wigan Athletic become the 39th different club to take part in it. And as Andy has quite rightly said, don't expect them to be along just for the ride. They have the ambition. And if not quite in a Chelsea way, they have the cash to back that ambition. It is the millions of Dave Whelan against the billions of Roman Abramovich.
Now this is it. Day one of a long, long road for John Terry, Jose Mourinho and his team. They're going to find out in the next 9 months just how difficult it is as champions, how hard it is to retain it. That I feel certain.
Being successful is never easy, but sustaining it much, much harder. Only Liverpool and Manchester United have won back-to-back league titles in the last 45 years of top-flight English football. Both have managed it more than once, of course. This is the moment. It is a rags to riches tale. They were a non-league club less than 30 years ago. They only climbed into the second tier of English football in 2003. Dave Whelan has backed them all the way over the last 10 years. And here they are for a Sunday baptism in the Premiership. And a likely baptism of fire it is against the top club in England. It's live right after the break.
The jewel in Wigan's crown, and beyond him, the jewel in Chelsea's Premiership crown. It's Wigan against Chelsea. Match commentators Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Wigan to kick off. They start their adventure as Chelsea begin the defence of their title. Champions with record points, record wins, the best defensive records a top division team has ever produced. It's a measure of the first task for Wigan, who certainly need to be athletic in this league.
There'll definitely be that. And there'll be one or two wanting a quick touch of the ball. There must be a lot of nerves out there.
Touched on by Alan Mahon, who has played in the Premier League before with Blackburn. There's a smattering of experience through the Wigan ranks, certainly more than there was at the end of last season. But here's Makalele. Gallas, who apparently has been spelling it out that he really wants to be regarded as a centre-back and not a left-back, because they've got a Spanish international now at left-back in Del Orno.
I have to be honest, I've never seen him very often disappoint when he's played at centre-back.
The right-back is Paulo Ferreira. He hasn't played in the Premiership for a while because of a broken foot back in the spring. Damien Duff, who might know a thing or two about Wigan, having lived for a long time in Blackburn.
We might just see a little bit of this early in this match. Wigan rightly showing respect, I think. Sensibly showing respect and allowing Chelsea to pop it about in their own half. Got a feel of it. But making sure that everything behind this in their own half is bottled up, is tight.
Looking for Drogba was Del Orno. The referee is Mark Clattenburg, and he's given Chelsea the free kick. It's been taken quickly. Robin hasn't begun a Premiership game since February when he was injured at Blackburn. And he's dumped down here at the JJB Stadium, and it's a throw to Wigan.
Every tackle one, every corner one is going to get a big cheer.
Chelsea started last season, of course, by beating Manchester United. Adiga Johnson got that goal. He's playing a bit deeper in the Chelsea formation these days. Terry, well, you would expect him to be, and here is Robin. Lampard roll forward. And Stefan Onshaw with always the years with Liverpool and prior to that with Blackburn Rovers. There's plenty about the English game.
There's no doubt Paul Jules brought experience at the back. Little handball there.
Pollard. Here's Camera, a real box of tricks. Parried away by Cech, in goes Roberts, mishit it. And in the end, Chelsea had some cover there.
Oh, what a chance of glory. What a chance of an absolute dream start.
For Johnson.
It's good to be here. It's good to be here, isn't it? It's fantastic. Brilliant atmosphere. And they've almost topped it with a fantastic opener. Quick, bright in the layer. And this is where he's dangerous. Jamie Redknapp talked about it, one-on-one edge of the box. And he left John Terry, and not many have done that over the last couple of seasons.
And here's Camera challenging Terry again, and Terry's in trouble.
Well, that's exactly the right sort of thing to be doing to Chelsea early on if we can. Turn them. But great defending, that's why John Terry's so good. Because Locke would have tried to have left it to the goalkeeper. He knew he was struggling, that was going to be a doubt. So he dealt with it.
Mark. To get the cross in. Camera! Flushes the netting on the outside.
Do you know what, it hit the netting? I looked to the far side. They thought it was in. They see the net bristling. They see it move. And to the left of your screen here, they all think it's gone in. And it is close. Phil Master check. I think he's down to this. Might have had that covered if it's on target. But bright opening.
Drogba just getting the better of De Zeu. A slip by Mann. Plenty of rain up here in the northwest over the weekend. Cam on offer again for you this season. And it starts with Didier Drogba, Chelsea's match winner last Sunday. Wigan warmed up for this with a friendly against a club managed by a Portuguese coach. The Portuguese club, Boa Vista, they beat them 1-0 in very different circumstances, just a few thousand in the ground. Wonderful to see that the Wigan tickets have all been sold out. It's only absence of a full quota of Chelsea fans that have stopped it being a full house. Nice comfortable start for Mike Pollett. Motoring is Mann.
That's unlucky. I think the right idea, but too much angle on it. Might have been better just sliding that level with the penalty area so that Cech couldn't come and deal with it.
There's a bit of debate in the Wigan ranks, Andy, which I'm sure you would understand, about whether to match up Chelsea like for like, as some teams have done.
I think
Paul Jules saying, I want to have a second striker out there. And Camera already, right. That second striker.
I think they're right. I mean, I think sometimes you could just do that and try and cancel them out, but then what do you do when you get the ball? This is the way they're used to playing. This is what's gotten them promotion, this system, this formation. So, you know, why change? All right, it would have been shown respect. But we've said before, the survival in this league doesn't depend on today.
Duff's ball. There is. Cross was a bit under hit on a well-grass surface. Collected, as is so often the case, in front of the back four by Makalele. Gallas. Johnson joining Drogba in the middle. Robin's in there as well. Here is Arjen Robben.
Just enough pressure on him there to make the header difficult. Might have been different had it been Drogba. But Shimbonda got close enough. He has a little look. He sees where Robin's making his run from. He's a little late in reacting, the fullback, but just did enough at the end. There'll be plenty of that from wide from Chelsea. They do like to try and play in Drogba from wide areas if they can.
Mann. Pollard, who was at West Ham for a while, understudying the likes of Frank Lampard and Joe Cole. Camera. Chimbonda. Played several seasons in the top division in France. Camera. A bit of foul, but an advantage played by Plattenberg. Roberts. And a little bit of a prod at goal by Damien Francis, who's come here after being relegated with Norwich City in May.
Well, that's been 8 pretty good minutes in the Premiership for Wigan. But we know that this league does to you if you switch off. Lose concentration for a minute, you're punished. And he's unlucky, just overhit the pass. The clause comes there though, and Gary Teal.
Roberts really trying to spread the play, and there is a good deal of width in the way Wigan like to set it out. Set it up with the Teal on the right, Mann on the left. Missing Lee McCulloch, who is a striker but played on the left of midfield in the promotion campaign and got 14 goals. Loses his eye for goal. Scotland international. He's just missed out today for a back injury.
Did well, Roberts. Because I think Gallus did everything that most defenders would have done. He was just letting the ball go drift through to his goalkeeper. Jason Roberts just made it look as if it was a little nudge in his back. And trust me, they will have spent long hours on these positions in the Wigan training ground over the last couple of weeks with this game in mind as to how they might just find a movement, an opening, fashion something.
Set up for Mann. Oh goodness, I think Moshow had gone forward. Something we saw very often when he was at Liverpool.
I don't think we ever saw it. He did not go forward at all.
Pollock was expecting to play his football in League One this season, either with Rotherham or with Nottingham Forest, and then suddenly Wigan brought him in to be the understudy to the Australian John Phelan, who's another who's missing today from Paul Jewell's probably preferred lineup. Pollock played really well here against Boa Vista in the last pre-season game and booked his place as the understudy. Roberts been linking it well so far. On from Francis. Teal to take on Del Ordo, who refused to be ruffled. Lampard's caught. Camera. Teal's teasing cross. Mann trying to get there. It'll be brought away by Goodjohnson for Chelsea.
And we've just got to be careful. The short numbers at the back there.
Lampard had to run quite a long way unchallenged. He thought he could thread the ball into for Drogba's run. Just closed by Wigan in the nick of time.
Well, I don't know Paul Jewell. I haven't spoken to him. I do know him, but I haven't spoken to him before prior to the game, and I just wonder how much he would like this game to open up. You certainly feel, if it does, that Chelsea with better players might just appreciate that. Maybe he feels confident enough and he knows that, hey, this is a game to absolutely enjoy. Let's just go and have a go. It's a refreshing attitude if that's the case.
Exactly what he said to Andy, but of course he did add the rider. I don't want a real going over.
Well, that's understandable. You want to enjoy it, you want to give the fans something. This is a big, big moment for everyone here. But you don't want to come off of here in 80 minutes' time in the back of a right hiding.
They go away to Charlton, and home to Sunderland, away to West Brom. We're looking at those games as more significant in determining maybe the shape of the months ahead. Charlton, of course, top the table and still do. I know you're not a great one at putting stock by tables on the
Yes, I am. Opening day, get on with it. Yes, we want to see a table.
Well, Charlton the top of it because Arsenal won 2-0 if you missed the earlier news. Charlton winning 3-1, as did West Ham. Charlton had the alphabetical advantage. Camera. Here's Duff. He's cut by Leighton Baines, who's Liverpudlian, through the ranks at Wigan, and has had a place last season in the England under-21 setup. Been named in the latest squad. We'll deal with Damien Duff here.
He did great. Stayed on his feet, nimble and quick enough to twist and turn with Duff. People like Duff and Robin, they love to tempt fullbacks into jumping into the tackle, and they just skip away from them. This is about concentration now for Wigan.
Dual threat of Terry and Drogba. Dealt with that. Trying on his more natural left side, blocked by Teal. Johnson, he's also no stranger to these parts. He started in England at Bolton. Pretty fearsome rivals to Wigan, at least as far as the supporters are concerned. Ma. Seeing plenty of the ball early on. He's been a Wigan player for a week. And not much longer. He's got forward well to Teal's pass, but Delorno stopped him getting any further forward, to Chelsea's relief. Oh, encouraging play from Wigan again. Francis with the cross.
That's a lovely ball.
Ma. That's straightforward for Petr Cech. So many clean sheets last season. It's a major surprise if Chelsea concede a goal, let alone lose a game.
Neither of the fullbacks, Delorno or Ferrara, are showing much ambition at the moment. Just noticed that even when Wigan win the ball in midfield and Delorno is so far and Ferrara, they've been reluctant to go any further than just what we've seen there.
Headed down by Drogba to Gudjohnsen. Back to Drogba again. Good out.
And that's why you have to concentrate for 90 minutes at this level, because this can happen. Nice little 1-2. The Zoo thinks he's close enough, but he's not. And I'll tell you, this is not far away. It's only just over.
Those Cardiff goals, I'm sure, did him a world of good. He's been saying last week that he was a bit short of confidence with Chelsea last season, surprisingly. Hankering a bit for a return to France. Moving back on the front foot again. Bullard. And Teal. Lampard can only force it forward where it's collected by Ancho. Trying to pick out Roberts unsuccessfully.
But they've done well in doing what Bullard's just done there. They've won quite a bit of second ball when it's come back, and that's important at this level, that you do contest that area of the pitch. You pick up the drops and keep the pressure on and keep possession as much as you possibly can. They've done that quite well, Wigan, so far.
They came up with 87 points, 7 behind Sunderland. There they are, ahead on attempts and attempts on target. A major shock if it was 1-0 at the top of your screen. And an hour and a half time, but for Petr Cech's save, it could have been 1-0 early in the game. Saving from Henri Camara. Robin. Gudjohnsen is going to be allowed to shoot here, and Wigan could have been punished for that.
No, he's good enough, Gudjohnsen. And this is what happens, he just gets away from Jimmy Bullard, just skips infield, and I think if Lampard and Gudjohnsen are allowed to get into those areas, then they're going to pose a problem to Wigan as this game goes on.
Player cam switching to Henri Camara, who's earned the honour of his contribution in the first 15 minutes or so. Offside decision has been given. Mixed start for the other two promoted clubs yesterday. So Sunderland going down 3-1 at home to 10 men Charlton. West Ham with a wonderful win over Blackburn Rovers. They're going to have the stage to themselves at the moment.
Yeah, both promoted clubs so far involved in 3-1 games at the weekend. Are we set for another?
Which way, Mr. Gray?
Well, after 18 minutes, I'm not prepared to bet just yet.
Lampard. We'll have competition soon enough from Wayne Bridge, I'm sure. Robin. So happy coming from the right-hand side. He certainly pumped that goalwards from a long way out, but a good break by Bullard. And he's turned Makelele as well, but then checked when he might have kept going. And the very ambitious piece of play was brought to an abrupt halt by Gudjonsson.
Yeah, Bullard's done him a favour. Good to see he's jumped up quickly. Makes the referee's job that much easier. Hope one or two other pros can take lessons from that. I think again McCann yesterday at Villa Park, helping Campo out, I feel sure. Jumped up, wasn't happy, but he got up quickly and it made the referee's job a little easier. That's the area I'm talking about. If Lampard does that, he just might have a problem.
Making a move. It was Lampard who was furthest from Robin when the cross went in. Gudjonsson. He's a little bit exposed again by Robin, who's really hooked the shot.
I know it's hard work, but those are the areas where Alan Mann, as a wide player on the left, has got to help his fullback if at all possible. He kind of gives this up. He doesn't really look. He's just jogging. He doesn't really get back in there to help the young lad. He should have done better. Robin will be so disappointed. Created the opening and just dragged it.
Well, as it is, we're going to have got through 20 minutes without conceding. I'm sure Paul Jewell will have taken that at the outset.
Well, I think if you'd have said you played 20 minutes, your goalkeeper won't have made a save, I think he might have taken that.
That's high standards. Still only 40 years old. He felt as a player he underachieved, and he's determined as a manager that no footballer under his control will fall into that trap. Makelele. And continuing our run at Baines. This time he took Drogba a little bit by surprise by releasing it. Maybe earlier.
It's a little worry this near side coming, I think. Duff and Robin have swapped sides, and Robin seems to be quite enjoying playing against Leighton Barnes.
At the moment, Robin and Duff are both on this side with their eyes lighting up, I think. Oman did get a tackle in there, and he might need to make a few more in defence of Baines. Francis. Long from Archer, chased by Cameron.
See, I don't think that's a bad ball. Actually, when you've got nothing on like that, you just knock it down there. It's thought out. Del Horno's had to turn. And what's happened? Wigan have got a throw, 18 yards from goal.
They stand behind Mbonda taking the throw, absolutely jam-packed with Wigan supporters, which is new because that was the away side. Obviously poorer crowds here, even in a promotion campaign from the Championship. That's another step forward here at Wigan Athletic. Baines trying to make Robin do a bit of defending, but he's actually given the ball to Gudjonsson and put himself in trouble. Robin's helped him out. Chimbonda, Teal can turn. And he's not short of attacking ideas as an ex-striker.
Again, no. They might pay for their ambition. No, that's not bad. That's a clever foul. It's a good foul.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. He's now allowed his teammates to get back in.
see what he was aiming for. And he can't surely continue to let Wigan off the hook.
As I say, this is a little worry. Whoever comes to him, look at that big gap that he's got to just drift into. Somebody's got to be coming a lot quicker than they are at the moment. He's got allowed time to take aim, set himself. And that's on the edge of the box.
Olsho had a short spell with Celtic after leaving Anfield.
I don't think there's any doubt we expected Wigan to do this when they were 0-0, to be contesting everything. Big test for them would come, of course, should they concede the opening goal in this game. We'd learn a bit more about them.
Bonga's cross. What they are trying to do is get numbers forward. And Camera is certainly forward here. And it comes to Man!
Well, wrap that one up, because it was gift-wrapped. The top marks, I think it's Damien Francis. The ball pops down to Frank Lampard, the edge of the box, and Frank should just be hooking it over his shoulder. But he gets caught. He does try to be fair, but brilliant from Francis, who got in there. He's got time. It's on his strong left side. The worst thing he should be doing here is hitting the target and working the goalkeeper. What a chance.
It's a real JJB Stadium roar, and that hasn't been said very often before. Certainly not in the context of association football. Here's Baines, unchallenged. Duff. It's been a feisty opening 25 minutes here.
I think the wide areas have done well, Wigan, because both full-backs have been prepared to go forward and really say to Duff and Robin, OK, if you're not going to chase us back, we might just get 2v1 against your full-backs and make good use of it.
Here's Duff. Robin has shown absolutely no inclination to leave this right-hand side.
No, he wants the ball.
He's not going to get it like that. Makelele pounds the turf here in frustration. Made himself available again for France. Camera. Senegal, of course. Terry of England. And several Chelsea players will be meeting up with Fanuel and Eriksson for the trip to Denmark. So that you'll see live on Sky Sports International Wednesday coming up. Lampard also on that plane to Scandinavia. Republic of Ireland play Italy. That's Sky Sports 1. Sky Sports 2 for the England game. 6:30. Wales and Swansea against Slovenia. Sky Sports 3. Take your pick. Tim Bondi played for Bastia prior to that, Larve. You see he's in the top flight in France, which isn't quite the same as Premiership. Very good level. Johnson trying to keep it alive, couldn't do that for Chelsea. Amazingly, and Wigan do have a good record against Chelsea, only in the sporadic cup ties down the years, but they did beat Chelsea in the FA Cup at Stamford Bridge as well in the late 1970s, and they won a League Cup match here in Wigan. The old grounds, Springfield Park. I was actually there, 1981. 4-2 it was to Wigan. Chelsea win the old second division then. The last time they met was also at Springfield Park, and Chelsea won 5-0 in the FA Cup tie. Kerry Dixon got 4, and there's some experts expecting that sort of margin in Chelsea's favour here today in the Premiership, but not on the evidence so far. Paulo Ferreira. Lampard. Chelsea have many virtues, and patience is certainly one of them. Delorno picked out Drogba very well in the Community Shield last week.
It was a little too early, in my opinion, to be delivering the cross. He had bags of space. He had Duff outside him, didn't use him like that.
Strong play from Roberts. Teal putting it in. Bullard had got there, or almost got there. It's Mann. Too high for Camera. Delorno gets the final touch, and Wigan get a corner.
Well, I have to be honest, in the last year, I haven't seen too many teams make Chelsea look as uncomfortable at the back as Wigan have done in this first 28.5 minutes. I must be honest. They've looked rattled at times at the back, uncomfortable. They've exposed them, particularly on the far right-hand side, going down Delorno's wing. And when he doesn't get protection ahead of him, it's just made life difficult for the young Spaniard.
Bullard to take the corner. Francis backpedaling. Camera got there, and any other touch from a Wigan player, and it might have been 1-0.
Well, Jason Roberts gets a toe on this. He's right in front of the goalkeeper here. I think he just gets blocked off. There's John Terry. Yet again, Chelsea skipper doing his bit.
It's amazing how referees never spot that.
That's just good defending, though, in that situation, isn't it? Into situations like that, when people tend to say about Chelsea that they're a long ball team, and I think they mix it up well. Maybe not perfect yet, but they're quite happy to pop it about if they can. But they know they've got Drogba as an out ball, so why not have that in mind?
Well, Chelsea are having to work here. And well done, Wigan, for the first half an hour of their Premiership lives. And they certainly don't want to be patronised in this league. They want to be judged on their merits, and judging on this first third of their first game, they've learnt a little. Looked a bit vulnerable in one or two areas, particularly where Leighton Baines has been exposed, but they've certainly given Chelsea some cause for concern, and they're doing Dave Whelan proud. His is a fantastic story. Carried off in an FA Cup final with a broken leg. Never been involved in top-flight football from that day in 1960 to this.
Well, that's daft. I know he's new to the league. The one thing you know about Chelsea is if you give them set plays here and they put good delivery in, they have got real threats in there. Drogba, Terry, Gallas, even Robin. And well, I think the young fullback, he himself is a big threat, Delorno.
And he's very good in the air, scored against England in November. Lampard putting it in with plenty of pace. Fired well wide by Paulo Ferreira.
Well, they defended the first one in really well. It was a crowd scene in there. It's good for thought, I have to be honest. But the one thing you know, he just looks behind him. He sees Sean Wright-Phillips, Joe Cole, Hernan Crespo. I mean, not bad if you've got a few problems in games, is it?
Even stronger, would be perhaps a description, but they have to prove that out on the pitch in the months ahead. The Essien deal surely will be completed one day. We've only got till August the 31st, of course, this current transfer window.
It seems likely, doesn't it?
Where's he going to play? Which of these players isn't going to start?
You want me to guess?
What a good Johnson.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Sorry, I wanted you to guess. Terry. Delorno, and here is Gudjohnsen, of course, could go up front to good effect. He's not needed coming from midfield.
Well tracked, Leighton Barnes. If you decide to go, you have to go all the way. He did that. Goalkeeper's a little in no man's land, you know, one of those loopy headers, if possible, might have embarrassed him. But it's been a frustrating 33-34 minutes, and if Chelsea wanted to know what it was going to be like to be champions, we're certainly finding out.
Well, we've seen some very good Arsenal teams over the Wenger years, and they haven't retained a championship. corner for Ferrer. Robin on his back to brings a bit of help here.
Makes a difference, doesn't it?
Going left back, got a foot in.
We had two back there. And that's pretty much because Ferreira went forward for one of the few times so far.
Good Johnson, Ferreira. Now Makalele, Delorno's on the move. Towards Drogba, but it wasn't really a ball that did him many favours against an Olympic-like defender as Ancho is. Bullard. And we're going ahead of Teal. Terry across. Getting the ball and the throw. Now, Teal thinking it was his throw. That was what it was about. Of course, there is a new regulation. You can't stand in front of within 2 meters of the player taking a throw. Teal was sure it was his ball. It wasn't any attempt at gamesmanship. Decision went against Wigan. Having to try and cross it with his right foot.
I think you let that go. That's a good little battle. The smell tells you all. They're having a little tussle. It's physical, it's powerful. Means something. No harm done.
Delorno. Lampard again just finding that little hole of space behind the opposition's midfield. Damien Francis's best efforts to track it. Duff. Lampard again. Damien Duff again. Here's Gudjonsson. Coming from right back is Ferreira. Plenty forward for Chelsea now. Oh, it's just too high for Drogba.
Nice football. Worked it from left to right very well indeed. Just this little bit of play here, it's lovely. Opens it up for Ferreira just to pick someone out or drop it in there. He's not far away from finding his target. Just a little heavy with the cross.
Wigan were known as the Chelsea of the Championship last season. Spending power strong. I think it will be in Premiership circles as well. They say here that they actually made the biggest bid to Chelsea for Scott Parker.
Yeah, that's right.
They couldn't persuade the player to come and represent Wigan Athletic when he had the more established Premiership teams, and how well he's played for Newcastle today.
Yeah, he was brilliant today. He was arguably man of the match. That's going to be one of the things that Paul Jones he's going to have to accept. He's going to find he'll be frustrated more often than not by that happening.
Duff. Delorno. Gallas. This can be the danger time, particularly for a team that's worked hard. Not saying played above itself, but certainly played pretty much to capacity. Lifted by the occasion, by the challenge. But 45 minutes can be a long time, and a lot of goals, when you look at the statistics, are scored by the better teams late on in both halves of matches.
But they're getting the rest now. That's the important thing. When you see little passages of play like this, they can get back in the 2 banks of 4, and they can say, all right then, Chelsea, you can pass it around here. We'll just shuttle across, we'll suck it in, get some breaths, and then we'll come again. Just like that.
Well, there were some goalless draws yesterday, but that's always seems to be a disappointment. But this game staying goalless is a major story. Should it continue? Robin. Early ball was on to Duff. The later ball might have carried some penetration if he'd got it behind Chimbonda. He's kind of turned defending into counter-attacking. He thought he was fouled, but Mark Clattenburg said the ball was played. Makalele. Robin winding up for a cross, and now someone will they be winding up for a corner. Pollock couldn't prevent that.
That's a bit fortunate. That was just a nothing cross, and it was going to be absolutely not a soul in the penalty area. And ended up getting a corner. These are the times now, getting close to half-time. Concentration. Fighter. Look up your men.
Terry! Well, it could so easily have been a trademark John Terry goal for Chelsea.
And that's all it takes. He comes across the front, checks his run, loses his marker totally. Dezou. It's great running from Terry, just went, checked, ball dropped.
That's Callas not over the back of Roberts. Lampard. Intercepted, but Robin stole the ball from him. Johnson stumbled. Wigan's relief. Marr, just about. Now Bullard. He is really to Wigan what Frank Lampard is to Chelsea in terms of playing week in, week out, over 100 consecutive league appearances for this club. Just a player who wanted to play for West Ham.
And he's apologising down this way. His manager was furious there. He should have just kept the ball going left side here to Jason Roberts. He went for that. It wasn't a difficult crossfield pass, if I'm honest, but just didn't get it right.
Terry. Big 5 minutes in the psychology of this contest. We are flattening after 40 minutes of good work to go in behind. And good Johnson, lift it over. Ansho really attacked the ball. Good Johnson has stayed down.
I think that's another good decision from Mark Clattenburg.
Johnson's still in trouble. Wigan didn't put the ball out. Frank Lampard's decided that it's good enough for Chelsea to play on here. For Johnson getting back onto his feet. It's an interesting one. Should Chelsea score? Duff. Now Robin. Have regrouped. Johnson still trying to get the full wind back in the sails. Want the ball there. Camera. Marr. Francis finding Terry flying in at him. Here's Bullard with a little bit of room, and Marr. Teal. Terry goes across and had to make sure he made contact with the ball before Chimbonda got there.
That's been the threat area. Chimbonda's been great and going up alongside Teal and really working Del Orno. And at times it's been Lampard, it's been Makalele. In that case it's been Terry that's had to get across and help the Spanish fullback.
We have a flag problem here for Gary Kellett. Another serious one. And hesitation there by Drogba. Do that with Wigan around and Teal in particular. Francis likes to get forward. Scored regularly from midfield for Norwich in the Premiership last season. He could be the new fans' favourite, you know. They really took to him when he played in the pre-season game I saw last week. Lots of forward running. And he's an eye-catching player.
He's certainly that. He's had a fabulous opening 45 minutes in his Premiership career.
Well, Baines might have got that against Gallas, but no harm done for Wigan.
Trogger wants that put down as a pass back. I'm afraid you're not going to get it.
Here goes Chimbonda again, using Teal for a lively link-up. Camara, who did much to set the tone for Wigan in the early minutes, give them some belief on this huge day for this football club. Lampard. Now Duff. Owen Pollitt, well saved. For a moment, a fraction of a second, it looked as though it had gone behind him and in. It had gone behind him, but he hung on.
Well, this was a warning signs here. The only thing I would say, you've got to send Damien Duff wide there. You've got to keep him on his right foot. And if you don't do that, you've got to ask your goalkeeper to make a special save. It was.
Well, it was a special save at a special time. It should preserve the parity for Wigan till half-time.
Hold on a minute, they might nick one.
These two have anything to do with it. Camera as well.
He's given it, that's what I mean. Great time. As we approach stoppage time, flag's been changed, no harm done.
Well, you're right, Rennie has a job now after 45 minutes. Doesn't need to hold up the board as the fourth official.
Well, he's supposed to. He's one of the fittest, he keeps telling us, so come on, get a move on.
He's getting a help there from a winning official. He knows how to work it. He's obviously got his deputy in place.
Good ball here required. A good ball.
One that Czech was comfortable only to punch away. Robin trying to break away. And Ryan Robin feeling that Alan Mahon did that cynically, and so too did Mark Clattenburg. And in added time before half-time, there's a caution for the Wigan midfield player.
It's a caution his manager will take. Again, he wants his players to be professional. That's the word to use there. Well, we've got a great cheer at the end of this half. Wigan players as they go off, and that I'm absolutely certain, and deservedly.
And here they come. Listen to the appreciation at the JJB. First 45 minutes of Premiership football here. Henri Camara gave them something to shout about, these Wigan fans, very early in the game. Petacek just kept out the shot, and Roberts might have done better with the rebound. The other goalkeeper, Mike Pollitt, had to make his best save late in the half from Damien Duff. And at half-time here, it is Wigan 0, the champions 0.
Done well. Jamie Redknapp's thoughts on that when we come back. But so far, so good for Wigan Athletic. It has been a bumpy ride at different times for the champions. It might be them who's pleased to get in at 0-0. But that's what it is at half-time. There's international football Tuesday and Wednesday night of this week. Tuesday night at 6 on Sky Sports 1, England's under-21s meet Denmark. And then there are 3 matches live Wednesday night. 7 o'clock on 1, it's the Republic of Ireland against Italy. 6:30 on 2, it's the senior team, England's senior team in Denmark. And 7:30 on 3, it's Wales against Slovenia. All what they term as friendly internationals, of course, ahead of the match between Wales and England, the World Cup qualifier, which you'll see here on Sky Sports. Plainly changes for Chelsea. Sean Wright-Phillips and Joe Cole are down there. We haven't yet got any information as to who's going off, but Jamie Redknapp, have you spotted anything yet?
I think it looks like Robin. I think
And
Robin's one of them, and
perhaps?
I think Good Johnson picked up a bit of a knock. I'm not sure if Robin did. He's obviously not happy because he wants to make the changes and trying to turn the game back in Chelsea's favour, because at the moment
It is Good Johnson and Robin.
yeah, Wigan have certainly been the better team and posed a greater threat.
What does Paul Jewell say to his team at half-time?
keep going, just keep going and keep
But can you,
show
at that
you no
pace?
respect, show them no respect. Well, to be fair, Andy made a great point. That there was a few times when Chelsea have had the ball, and they've had good possession at times. Get the men behind the ball, keep your concentration, but don't let them in behind you. And there's no problem with that. For 5-10 minutes, they're going to have possession. They've got good players, Chelsea. You're not going to be in their half all the time, but when you break, you've got to break with promise and try and get on the end of crosses and try and get your shots in and keep the crowd going.
Arsenal won, Manchester United won this weekend. Chelsea will want to win here. And let's remind ourselves that they lost only once last year, the champions. Arsenal were unbeaten the year before that. If you lose one now, you're sweating a bit, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's been a really tough game. We said before the game that Wigan will be looking forward to getting this game out of the way, you know, because it's a tough game for them. But I tell you, Chelsea will be thinking the same thing now. They won't want to come here. If they keep this up, they won't want to come here to win the championship or something. It's a really tough place to play.
No changes for the Latics. Chelsea have made 2, as we've heard. Let's get confirmation of that with our commentators Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Yes, it's a measure, Richard, isn't it, of Chelsea, that they can bring on 2 members of the England squad that will be going to Denmark next week. Sean Wright-Phillips for his Premiership baptism for Chelsea, and Joe Cole, who ended last season as a starting member of the England side and the Chelsea side, so will have been disappointed at the Community Shield not to be in the 11. He got on then, he gets on here, and Arjen Robben and Ida Gudjohnsen confirmed as the 2 who have stayed off. Andy.
That's scant reward for a really good first half for Wigan, isn't it? They've really played well. As good as I think they probably can, maybe without adding a goal. And then what happens? 2 of the best young English talents in the land are on, fresh to run at you.
No surprise to hear that Jose Mourinho has made the changes purely through his tactical thoughts, the need to up the performance, really. Incidentally, Chelsea are defending the English Championship for only the 2nd time. 50 years ago, of course, they won the title. That following season, they finished 16th. Can't see that happening again in 2006.
Well, pretty much as we thought might happen there. Sean Wright-Phillips has just gone and see him at the top left of the screen there. He's just wide on the right. Joe Cole will have a much freer role in alongside Frank Lampard and Makelele to go and influence the game where he does best.
It'll be interesting for Leighton Baines, Wigan left back, who's had Duff, then Robben, and now has got Wright-Phillips. No one said the Premiership would be easy. The right back has really settled to it, though. Chimbonda. Well, to ride that challenge from Ancho. Been a free kick. Here goes Sean Wright-Phillips in typical fashion. It breaks to Cole, and he probably would say that chance came a bit early.
Well, that would be the excuse, but in honesty, for someone like him, it's a chance. A whole new problem to deal with. I think Robben and Duff like to jink a little bit, but Sean Wright-Phillips just likes to run straight at you. He might have done better.
Cam now to the Wigan striker Jason Roberts. He's played in the Premiership before with West Brom and briefly at Portsmouth. Not quite doing the sort of damage that he's done in the 2nd tier of English football. So, cope with Chelsea's first 11, and now you've got 2 supercharged substitutes to deal with.
Well, early in the season as well, he'll be looking at his own players, trying to assess fitness levels and who might just be dipping under it as this game goes on, because they've worked extremely hard, and that's an important part of being a manager at this level, knowing when it's right to make changes. This is what they've done quite well. And the one thing that they haven't allowed so far, you can't count too many times where Chelsea have actually got in behind the back 4. Most of the stuff's played in front, or been crossed from slightly deeper than maybe Chelsea would like.
Cole. Pereira. Pogba going towards the near post. It's behind him, volleyed away awkwardly by Chimbonda, but successfully.
That's what I mean about the cross. You'd ideally, if you're Drogba going in on the end of that, you want Ferrara to be at least another 15-20 yards further up the pitch before he's crossing it.
Lampard picked himself up, was prepared to get on with it, but shrugs the shoulders and says he'll be involved with the free kick that Mark Clattenburg has given.
I think they take that. Then gives him a chance to load it. Terry Gallas, Del Horno. Three that wouldn't be there in open play, but most certainly are going to be there from this.
Lampard fizzes it in low. He's got to it. Camera trying to make sure Wigan keep it. For that as well.
Just giving it away there. That's the one thing that, you know, as they get tired, as the second half goes on, that Wigan mustn't do. They didn't do it first half. They were prepared to back their ability to pass it.
Cole. Chelsea have a corner. Doesn't need any second invitations, the skipper. Duff to take this one. Gallas has gone right in by the goalkeeper. Pogba and Terry looking for positions around the penalty spot. Pollitt trying to fight his way through players, friends and foes. Francis. Good challenge by Makalele. They tend to keep him back. And the big men go up. Buller. Here's Roberts. Thomas was a bit too strong for him. Roberts looks quizzically at the referee. It's no response. Jose Mourinho wants a response from his team with the involvement of Joe Cole and Sean Wright-Phillips.
You've got to think Chelsea can play better. And that's one of the things that would worry you. If you're Wigan.
Cole. Able to turn. Lampard likewise. Deflected off De Zeu. Chimbonda again offering the outlet. Right back. Helping Teal when he was in danger of being caught in possession, and then just playing it too long, too strong for Camera.
Oh, had the ball been a good one, that would have been interesting.
Makalele. Trying to push things further forward himself. Sometimes it's a little bit a sign of frustration. He does that rather than leaving it to others. Teal. Osher. Triangle here for Wigan to make Chelsea do a bit of chasing. Now Delorno. Osher in. Crowd loving every challenge like that one. Understandably. Chelsea not enjoying it. Everyone wants to beat the champions. As Chelsea will find now that they are the champions.
That's a generous free kick, I feel. Certainly thought Bullard and Cole looked to come together towards the ball. Almost got jammed between them there. As Joe goes to the ground and grabs it, the referee decides it's a free kick. Bit unlucky.
Delorno. Able for a moment to survey the scene. Has to go square to Gallas. Lampard. Right, Phillips, but it was just behind Frank Lampard, and Wigan had numbers back. Has given it away to Wright Phillips. The cross has a bit of conviction till De Gea gets in the way. Here comes Camera. Roberts. Felt John Terry coming. Maybe just took his eye off the ball. Again, Wigan feel they might have got a decision.
It's just coming back a little too quick in the second half for Wigan's point of view. Front two were a threat, first half kept it. They're not doing so at the beginning of the second half.
Duff. Flag is up. I haven't seen many offsides in this game.
No. Well, mainly because I think Wigan are dropping off and not prepared to get caught in behind.
Well, when you think of Liverpool with Stefan Onshaw and Portsmouth with Ariane De Gea,
it's understandable.
He's a great leader, and he does finish with football finally, and he's 35 now and still going strong. He's going to go into the medical profession. He's got most of his qualifications back in Holland. Drogba. Well, it started to come. There's always a danger if defender and goalkeeper get too close to each other. Only by Chimbonda, collected by Makalele, though. Almost 10 minutes gone in the second half. Chimbonda. Wigan trying to play their way out of trouble. Maybe mindful of the point you made, Andy. If they just knock it long, it's coming straight back at them. And Delorno has to put it out, so they get the throw in the Chelsea half.
You know, but sometimes I'd like to see what they did in the first half as well. You'd like to see them just try and turn Chelsea down the flanks a little. It just gives them a breather. They might win a couple of throw-ins high up the pitch, and it gives them a chance to get set. At the moment, beginning of this second half, opening 10 minutes, pressure's just building slightly now. Slightly more than Paul Gill would like. You felt sure that would happen, because Chelsea would obviously have been disappointed at the way the first half had gone for them.
Makalele, Cole. Wright Phillips was in a position there had he collected it to really have a dart, and he can dart. But Bates still trying to do that, and others as well. It hits De Gea. One of a lucky clearance by Chimbonda. It seemed to be. Pollard couldn't get there. Makalele did. Delorno. Jewell has gone into the technical area. A little concerned about just this shape of proceedings at the moment. He's got Wigan more on the back foot until Camera tries to change that personally.
Oh, well done. He looked to get up a dead end there with nowhere to go.
Show. His header drops to Jimmy Buller. On by Francis to Marr. Bates. Buller available again. Big ask from Mant, the 1-2, but a little passage of play, Andy, that's given Wigan a bit of respite.
Well, maybe not. Look at that. We speak too soon, Mr. Tyler.
Well, every time there's a big hitter on, there's an even bigger hitter waiting to come on.
Yeah.
And Crespo.
And that's the pressure that they're under at the beginning of the second half. Nothing in the Chelsea defending. Third at all, really. Tell you what's going to be interesting is whether Mourinho keeps Drogba on.
That's a high kick by Pollett, but Lampard couldn't quite gain full control. Drogba, we think he's going to stay on.
See, that would be a little change in tack, but I do think that in games such as this that you have to win. I mean, you want to get 2 front men on. I'm not surprised to see that.
Makalele. And Cole looking for the craft to open up this resolute Wigan Athletic. Drogba, too high to Lampard. Chimbonda really attacked it. And the ball's run rather fortunately for Didier Drogba as they then nips it away from him. Maybe a good time to bring Crespo on.
Well, he's looking anxiously, Drogba. He sees Crespo, and normally he's the one who's trotting over. He's just turned away.
Well, maybe it's Damien Duff who's coming off. He's scheduled to take the corner, so possibly they're going to let this happen. He's not sure either. Well, there's Duff's number is up. So Robin substituted, and Duff substituted today. One wide player on in Sean Wright-Phillips, but now a central striker to support Drogba through the middle. Hernan Crespo back in the Premiership for the first time since April 2004. After being away in Serie A for a year, or back in Serie A for a year. Lampard takes on, unmarked with Delorno.
I just think 1 or 2 getting tired minds in Wigan. They're just shutting off occasionally, but it's in there rather easily. Fortunately for Wigan, it's his weaker side, and didn't want to use that weak right foot. What we're going to find Chelsea here, it's going to be 3 narrow in midfield, and Cole's going to be told to go up and join. He keeps saying 3.
Ancho. Chimbonda with massive self-belief again. Nobody's told him that Chelsea are the champions.
I still think Jose Mourinho's trying hard to get his system right here and what he wants his players to do. Looks to me like they're trying to get 3 at the back, pull Ferrara infield alongside Gallas and John Terry. And that would mean that obviously Sean Wright-Phillips on the right-hand side, Del Horno on the left, Lampard and Makalele in between that. And then Cole just behind Crespo and Drogba. That seems where he's trying to get his team into. He's not having much joy at the moment.
What a compliment to Wigan that Chelsea are having to chop and change like this, and Camera will make it even more awkward for the London club. Ancho.
Caught for the first time here.
Here is Crespo. Goes for goal himself, parried by Pollitt, and Chimbonda was on hand again.
Good hit. That's what you'd expect from him. Watch this, he's just half a yard and hit. Not looking to work too much space. Chimbonda again, right on the spot. Mop it up. Good save, keeper made the save. Got his bit of luck after that. But pressure is mounting.
It's another Lampard corner. Drogba. Back in by Joe Cole. Ancho is there. Camera. It's a push on Ferreira, but Chelsea have the ball with Sean Wright-Phillips.
Keepers.
He's been living not far from here in the Warrington area with brother Bradley in their Manchester City time. Sean Wright-Phillips. Delorno. Lampard. Comes back to Makalele. Dependable Deseo there again. Ferreira trying to find a diagonal onto Delorno's head. Put down by Francis.
Well played.
Mark. Expecting Camera to run, and he can run, and he's got a cross in front of John Terry, which takes a bit of doing. And he's trying to get behind him, which is even harder.
Frustrations there, though, because he done the half back. That was getting to the ball first.
Still plenty of time for Chelsea.
Oh, absolutely. As I've said, it looks like the pressure's mounting to me. Quartet of midfield players for Wigan have really got to help their back four now.
Bullard. Mark. Been trying to find a bit of a second wind here. Camera. Roberts in the middle. John Terry had to make a straight contact on that to get it back the way it had come.
But that's the difference when you keep two up top, Martin, is that you can then, when you break out like that, have a real threat. But they have something to hang on to. That's the important thing at this time in the match for Wigan. It's not like they're losing 1-0 or 2-1 or 2-0. They really have something to keep a hold of here. And that's amazing how that keeps you working, keeps you grafting.
Well, it certainly was a theatrical fall, but I think he might have got to the ball. So Makelele's contact punished right on the corner of the penalty area.
Yeah, he's got his left arm round him. I think that's what he's got. Referee sees that right in front of him, 2 yards away. With fewer and fewer opportunities arising from open play, and this sort of thing becomes oh so important.
Well, Chelsea were masters of the 1-0 win in winning the title, but their one defeat was 1-0 at Manchester City way back last October. Here goes Jimmy Bullard for Wigan, but it's not 1-0 here.
Well, he went for goal, I don't think there's a doubt.
Well, the team that is unbeaten in its last 29 Premiership games is having its famous feathers ruffled by a club playing its very first Premiership match. 20 minutes into the second half, it is still Wigan 0, Chelsea 0.
Well, the team that are 5,000 to 1 to win this title. They've done a pretty good job of frustrating the champions.
Some might have thought they were 5,000 to 1 to win this match.
Well, the attempts are growing, as we can see there. Chelsea almost double, but they haven't worked the goalkeeper often enough. But what Chelsea have learnt from last season is they only need the one chance. They only need the one on target that really matters. And they'll walk away from here 1-0, 3 points. I'm glad to be out the way.
And I think it's going to be tough for the Wigan players, even in their own minds, to think that moment is going to come. Just test of mental toughness for Wigan as well as the physical strength. Fine tackle by Leighton Baines. He's learning fast here.
Who was playing the first half as Leighton Barnes in my mind.
You could have called him Leighton James. Drogba.
Yeah, that'll be a free kick. Just a little tug again on Damien Francis, and every little thing like this at hand. Listen to the noise. That's just a free kick been awarded, edge of their own box. Because every little time that happens, then it eats up a bit of the clock. We're almost approaching the last quarter of the game.
Whatever happens from now on, and who knows, it might get even better for Wigan, but Wigan have sent out a message. And everyone watching today, the last game of this first Premiership weekend, they've come into this league to be competitive. Dave Whelan, the owner, knows nothing else. Paul Jewell, the manager, knows nothing else. Sean Wright-Phillips still got a chance here in the last quarter of the game to have a significant say with his new club.
Well, it's for games like this that they've amassed this squad of talent and paid hundreds of millions for it. It's for one of them to produce something.
Crespo with a pass, and Drogba might have produced it there, but Ariane Deseu vigilant. And it's a goal kick.
It's lovely football. Super run, super ball. But you can see he plays it off Drogba. It's a good decision from Mark Clattenburg. It's been easy to get that wrong.
Apparently a bit of a falling out with Alain Perrin down at Portsmouth. Desailly's been such a substantial figure in Portsmouth's play in the Premiership. One would have thought they would have wanted to hang on to him. And here comes Joe Cole. He's hit it on the stretch. It's spun up from Pollock's gloves, but well within reach.
That's good goalkeeping. We know how difficult this ball is to keep a hold of, so gets a little bit of luck. It's powerfully struck, just takes the pace off it, does the rest. But this is when you look to your front two. If they're not going to get a goal, and I'm talking about Wigan, then they have to try and just buy a bit of time, buy a rest for your back four and your midfield by occupying the ball for a few seconds.
Baines went for that. His pound for pound with Sean Wright-Phillips anyway, at least in terms of the weight sense, not in the monetary sense. Here's Camera.
Good feet. I mean, the finish wasn't... I don't know if his left side's his strongest. I think he's probably predominantly right-footed. The first part was excellent, this bit here, to open that up for him, but that was less convincing.
Well, he scored in the Premiership against Chelsea for Wolves. Certainly did his best to try and rescue Southampton's season. Didn't quite pan out in the end.
Well, he's chuckling, I'm sure, because certainly Drogba's got a chunk of his shirt. He might have a chunk of Drogba's in. Difficult one for the referee. And this is a difficult one. It's a bit straight, unless they're going to try and change the angle, but there's no one wide enough to change it, so it's going to be dinked up in a slight angle.
And the flag has gone up.
Well defended. Now, I know it's offside, but they defended it well. They got the flight of it, and they just kept Terry and Crespo away from it. You watch this, they hold the line, it's a good line, just fractionally offside, but watch the way they just keep the Chelsea players away from it. All their intention is just to let that go. It's done well, Kazoo, as captain.
Well. 20 minutes to go. And you think of all the records that Chelsea broke last season, but it's nice reading in the record books, but this is now fresh campaign. Will the considerable workout that Arsenal gave them in the Community Shield work to Chelsea's advantage? A proper game.
It should.
Under the belt.
It should. But we watched the game earlier today where it took the champions of the season before 80-odd minutes against 10 men to get the breakthrough.
Even a ball like that at this stage is useful for Wigan Athletic. This is Chelsea back. Gives them a little bit of time. Mark Clattenburg will allow them this time to get to the taking of the throw. He'll be now wondering whether Baines is trying to run down the clock. Camera turned into trouble. Could be big trouble. Because it's Joe Cole with Lampard powering up on the outside. Drogba in the middle. And Crespo is there as well.
Tell you what, the fullback did ever so well, Chimbonda. It was an awkward one. Shifted his feet beautifully to get rid of it. That was a genuine threat, and Chelsea didn't make the most of it.
Camera can turn, and Chelsea finding the game a bit stretched here. In comes Mann. But, it's a good piece of defensive play from Wright-Phillips.
I didn't go in early. He was in, man. It didn't go early enough. He didn't see him, Camera, soon enough. But good defending.
Chimbonda. Well, there's some real glory on offer here for Wigan Athletic. Chris Hutchings, who's Paul Jewell's assistant manager and a former Chelsea player, actually played in a Chelsea side that lost a cup tie at Wigan. Chimbonda. Teal. here we are, Andy, at the start of what the Glazer family might call EPL 14. And this could be, one of the shocks of all those 13 years and one weekend. Concern for Chelsea. Roberts, more concern for Chelsea here.
He might have stood that up. Jason Roberts did the first bit beautifully again.
Bullard. Sorry, mate. Carry on.
The Chelsea aren't champions because they've got to 74th minute and panicked because it's 0-0.
Delorno. Paulo Ferreira. He's waiting to get it back from Wright Phillips to play the 1-2, and they've worked it brilliantly. And here's Crespo. And again, Wigan refused to give in. Particularly this fella.
They're still throwing men forward.
I'm not sure he would have been to Wigan before in his business career, maybe. He's had a chat with Dave Whelan over some deal.
He's offside.
Crespo is he. And Crespo got 2 goals in the Champions League final, of course, for Milan. He got 2 goals playing for Argentina against Brazil in June as Argentina qualified for the World Cup. He didn't want that season to finish. He's a bit surprised to find himself back at Chelsea, I think, but
yeah,
he's spoken well, saying that he does speak good English, incidentally. Saying, well, he is here and he wants to make it work. 15 minutes to go. Caseo had to come out and make that challenge. Phillips with the cross. It's Ocho this time. It's not one of the centre-backs, it's the other. And this is Jason Roberts. One or two of those sorts of incidents have happened for Jason Roberts today, and they've all gone against him. He's got to free his mind now of that and be ready into support of Mann. He looks instead for Camera. Baines. Here's Chimbonda. Bullard. Now Teal. Saw more of the ball in the first half. Has he got the legs of Gallas here? Not an easy thing to have.
Not many have.
Arrogance from Delorno. Flick off to Makalele.
There's just always that worry still as I look out in front of me for Wigan that the game's that open now. Chelsea with undoubted better quality might just fashion something, a move, a pass and a run that marries up, and all this work will be distort.
Not quite played into Crespo's run by Lampard, who just cut across the ball inadvertently. Chelsea will be feeling the pace of it as well, even if you're a good athlete. Frank Lampard, who said when he accepted the Football Writers of the Year award that he might come back a bit heavier because he was going to have a very good holiday.
He does look slightly heavier than normal, Frank, no doubt about that, and he's just blowing a little bit, as 1 or 2 are for Chelsea as well. That's Sean Wright Phillips and not Baines with the energy he's got of youth. Good to see. Good to see, lads.
A big contest between two of the smaller men on the pitch. Maybe the two smallest men on the pitch. Player cam now to Hernan Crespo. Maybe our producer has targeted him as the scorer of a winning goal here. Makalele. All credit to Paul Jewell's philosophy for his team. When they could get forward, it hasn't been easy in the second half, but they still have 3-5 in that attack. Is it going to cost them too much because Chelsea can't counter-attack them? Maybe they will now with Wright Phillips. We've got a free kick here. Cole. Shouts for the handball. Mark Clattenburg's having nothing to do with it. Andy.
Well, it's been harsh, I think. I think he's saying he can't see that. Might well have been outside the box. He certainly struck the hand of Teal, but to me it was more ball to hand than him moving his arm out to block it deliberately. It's been really harsh.
Super Sunday in a week's time. Bolton against Everton. On the back of qualifying for the UEFA Cup, 6th place last season, 6 against 4th last season. Well worth your time. Followed by Chelsea and Arsenal. Well worth your time. Good double bill, eh? Here's Joe Cole. And here's a corner for Chelsea as we come to 10 minutes to go.
We're approaching the exact moment. Thierry Henry earlier today rolled a penalty in to give a nervy Arsenal at the time, who were being frustrated. Their opening goal of this season.
And it's Drogba. Also blocking that one. Back by Lampard for Terry.
You have days like that.
What I was going to say, Andy, if they'd been attached, whether there'd been an offside, because
might have been.
They were moving out Wigan, weren't they?
Very well.
And Wigan have a free kick.
Well, it's the first time for a lot of our viewers watching Wigan, certainly at this level, first time ever. We can be proud of fans, whatever happens in the last 10 minutes of what the team have done today. They've really walked Chelsea over in respect to they've asked the champions to produce their best to win this game, and at the moment they haven't been able to do it.
And what about the 5 Wigan players who are playing in the Premiership for the first time? Terrific effort. Games last 90 minutes, not 80 minutes. Chimbonda. And Teal's got time to take a touch here and now get his cross in. And he does. Oh, it's off the top of the bar from Damien Francis.
Well, what a ball. What a ball. Borderline offside here, but the flag stays down. But he picks out Francis at the back post beautifully. It's a super header. He thinks he's won it. Oh.
And within seconds, Sean Wright Phillips is charging into the Wigan penalty area. That's how quickly things change at this level. Or can change.
We'll see.
Go back to Lampard, Drogba, wrong-footed Deseo, goalkeeper was committed, and Ariad Deseo somehow went back in the other direction and flicked it away.
I'm not quite sure how he managed it, but manage it he did. Jose Mourinho down there complaining about the length of time that Mike Pollock's taken when he's had the ball in his arms, but to be honest, the goalkeeper's not had it in his arms very often.
Here's Bullard. Wigan would like the ball at their feet.
It's balls like that and maybe just down the channel, over the top, relieve a bit of pressure. So it's not coming straight back.
Goalkeeper's coming here. And it's a wonderful piece of improvising, really, by Chimbonda. The fans' favourite, the cheerleader, the key defender there against Frank Lampard.
I will say there is a bit of work still to do, boys.
Baines brushed aside. Wright Phillips trying to get it back to Cole. He wants a handball there.
That one even less so than the other.
7 minutes, which could be a siege on the Wigan goal from the champions. But maybe we've been expecting that. It hasn't really happened in the previous 83 minutes. But here's Makaleli. Francis saw it coming. Camera. Francis running on. He knows about the pace that you need to go the distance in a Premiership match. Bullard.
What I would say is don't lose it.
Chimbonda.
I should have kept it going wide. He's not done a lot wrong, Chimbonda, but we've just got to play Teal in. It keeps him the ball, it keeps him possession in the last third. That's just giving it away. Oh, he just lost his flight of that. Crespo's, he turned his back on it.
I met a steward yesterday, Andy, at Sunderland, who had a double, Aston Villa to draw and Wigan to draw.
Who heard that?
A steward at Sunderland in the tunnel yesterday. He'll be biting his nails. There's a few here who are biting their nails from Wigan's point of view. Maybe some Chelsea fans as well.
That little pass there would not have endeared himself to his manager from Drogba.
Getting back. Here's Paulo Ferreira. The Premiership is a ruthless business. And Chelsea are trying to be ruthless here. Kazeu has his own brand of determination.
Back four have been great. Goalkeeper's done his bit. They've all been great, but when you know you have to defend and you've got to depend on your back four, they've been absolutely superb for Wigan today.
5 minutes to go, and Paul Jewell finally makes the change. Henri Camara has run himself out in the mind of the manager, and he's being replaced by Andreas Johansson, who is an international from Sweden. Came here in the January transfer window and only made one substitute appearance the second half of last season. So he doubles his involvement for Wigan Athletic.
Well, I would imagine he'd get himself back in the midfield area somewhere. We'll say to Roberts, you stay up top, and if it comes your way, just try and keep it.
It's only for a limited amount of time. They'd love for him to hang on to the ball until it read 90 minutes on the clock. Francis. Marr. Johansson. Tried to have a little run at Chelsea.
Well, and, you know, even though they're champions, it's little things like that. The heads would just drop a little, Chelsea. Think, oh, we're 100 yards from goal, 100 metres from goal.
Look at that. The announcer talking about the Wigan area of the ground being sold out. And this record attendance for a football match here.
It's great. And there'll be a few more.
It'll get bigger.
Yeah, if they play like this, we'll have some good days.
You don't get a chilly welcome here unless you arrive talking about pies and flat hats. And to some extent rugby league, but they are existing side by side, and so that should be the case.
And this is
Wigan as a little town, a small town, to have Premier League and Super League, and how much is that down to him, Dave Whelan? he was reading the headlines in the Monday morning papers. But, it's a complete miss hit at the end, and so is that from William Gallas. And Wigan have a corner with 2 minutes to go.
Well, they're all going up now. Dazoo, Onshore have been heroes at the back, heading things away. What would they give for one of them to just smack one in now?
Well, some teams in these circumstances would play the corner short, but that's not the Wigan way. It's not the Paul Jewell way. He wants to win this. But Teal's headed it straight down to Joe Cole, and he might end up losing it from their own corner. Delorno. The collective push out by Chelsea. Chimbonda still got energy to burn. And, Lampard can't get the better of him. There's plenty of respect in that little interchange there. And Wigan have earned respect today.
That was a poor corner as well, just thinking about that opportunity. It really was. But he's been great. They've had 11 heroes, 12. 3 minutes.
3 minutes. From a glorious draw. And not so glorious from where he's sitting. But it's not yet a draw.
Oh no.
And here's Wright Phillips trying his luck on the left, but Chimbonda is a genuine candidate for man of the match here. But there are Dazeu, Onshore, if they complete the job. Cole, Chelsea threaten again. In the 90th minute, Joe Cole, it's a deflection. When you need a bit of luck from a deflection, maybe Wigan have just had it.
Flag went up as well. To be fair, I think Crespo would have been offside.
Oh, Roberts, Terry committed himself. Ferreira's the first defender to him, and there's a ball on here for Johansson, the substitute. It could have got even better, or even worse for Jose.
He's learning. If he didn't already know what it was going to be like to be champions and have to defend this, he's learnt a lot today. Might have hit that first time, because as soon as he takes a touch, it makes it difficult, because Gallas is in his face. And he's only just on. It's difficult.
Dazeu, back by Makalele. Dazeu ready again. So is Makalele. Chimbonda got sucked in. Crespo is there. Did he handle it? That's what Chimbonda thought. Delorno. Lampard. Pressed by Bullard. Cole. Oh. Not the challenge. Referee right there. 2 minutes of added time left.
Well, who's got enough in that we hit it? Certainly Frank Lampard, you feel, would fancy it. Drog was out having a chat. Delorno, he can hit them. I can't think there's anything other than Delorno and Lampard's mind about hitting this, but more importantly, making Pollitt save it. And if he does, there'll be 4 or 5 Chelsea shots surely following this in.
It's set up for Lampard. Chelsea players in the wall. Here comes Teal, and they're 3 against 1 here. Gary Teal, Andres Johansson.
What a chance.
68 years young, and Dave Whelan. Oh, Wigan Athletic. Oh, Chelsea. Oh.
Well, it was a poor free kick, and they don't just thump it forward, they work it. And it's just a final ball. Might have gone now along the ground, but when it didn't go, he's got to lift it. And that made it slightly difficult for Johansson, but they should have done better.
Crespo shot! Oh no! For Wigan, but wonderful for Chelsea. With 30 seconds or so to go. And nobody knows the cruelty of it all more than the winning manager, as surely he is now, Jose Mourinho. Talk about a moment to show why you're champions. and why they brought Hernan Crespo back from Italy. And what the Premier League is all about for gallant Wigan Athletic.
Oh, it's incredible. I'm almost lost for words. But what a finish. What an absolute dream of a finish from Hernan Crespo. They're probably shouting, hit it, you know. Hit it. It's on his weaker left side. But he just tucks it in. And once it leaves his foot, there's only one result. What an effort. Football can be a cruel, cruel sport. Never more so than now. And never more so for Wigan.
That's world class. From Hernan Crespo, back in the Premiership and back with a bang for Chelsea. And he's flattened Wigan Athletic with nigh on the last kick of the game.
But that's what champions do.
Lampard, Drogba. They don't need to go looking for a second. Oh, Chelsea have won it, but that doesn't tell anything like the story. Paul Jewell crestfallen. And Crespo can puff out his chest, just like he bulged the back of the Wigan net with a truly wonderful strike. Well, some of these are seeing Premiership football for the first time. They now know what it's all about. Dave Whelan, formerly a top-class footballer himself back in the 50s with Blackburn Rovers, will have seen something like this before. But so much in the day that's been good for Wigan. But in the end, a rabbit pulled out of the hat by the champions, by Hernan Crespo. Wigan 0, Chelsea 1, just.
That's cruel, and you can bet your life that's what Jose Mourinho was telling Paul Jewell, but he knew that. His team have been heroes today and taken the champions right to the wire, and it took a world-class goal from Hernan Crespo to separate them. Table at the end of the first weekend looks like that. With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yet to get off the mark. Wigan amongst them now. West Brom, Middlesbrough, Manchester City and Liverpool in the bottom half. It's always worth a look because it's fresh and it's different at this stage of the season. Charlton lead with the Happy Hammers in second place, and they will be this weekend. Then it's Arsenal and Manchester United. Gunners, of course, winning today. Chelsea, with their 3 points, sit sixth. Well, there's plenty for Andy to talk about. 6:30 tonight, The Last Word. His thoughts and analysis on everything from the Premiership this weekend. At 8 o'clock on Sky Sports 1, we've got highlights of the fourth day between England and Australia. There's USPGA Golf next on Sky Sports 2, the final day again. IndyCar racing at 8:30 on 3 from Kentucky, and the Masters tennis final from Montreal at 7 o'clock on Sky Sports Extra. Tomorrow at 7:30, Port Vale play Brentford. That's live on Sky Sports 1. And when we come back, Jamie Redknapp's thoughts on what might just have been a really good day for Wigan. There's plenty to take from it, but that's a heartbreaker. So close to the end, but a world-class goal nevertheless.